The Toxic Avenger. This is the 1984 low-budget comedy horror movie from the great mind of Lloyd Kaufman, who is the founder of Troma. If you're unfamiliar with Troma, they are a very low-budget production company that specializes in movies that you're probably not really going to find anywhere else. This movie is the only Troma movie that I have ever seen. I'd like to see more, so if you have any recommendations, why don't you go ahead and drop a little comment down there. Toxic Avenger is the movie that really put Troma on the map. It was popular enough that it spawned 3 sequels and a Saturday morning cartoon for kids, which is pretty weird, as you'll see. I wouldn't say that this movie is kid-friendly. There is a new Toxic Avenger reboot that's supposed to be coming out now for like 2 or 3 years, something like that. I guess it's finally coming out soon. So with the new movie on the horizon, I thought that this would be a good time to go back and revisit the original, the Toxic Avenger, and just to see if it was still as good as I remember, or maybe even better. It's better. Welcome to Tromaville, the toxic waste capital of the world. I love this weird era of toxic waste and mutant movies. There's just something so fun about people getting grotesquely mutated from coming into contact with nuclear sludge. And it's also got that undertone of like environmental damage and what our energy sources are doing to us under the surface. But it's such a fun plot device, and it makes for great disgusting effects. We find ourselves at the Tromaville Health Club. This is where we meet the janitor. His name is Melvin, and he's a real string bean yokel looking motherfucker. Bit of an outcast, bit of a weirdo, big ass teeth. And this is where everybody in town works out, like strong guys and sexy babes and gay dudes. Everybody is welcome here at the Tromaville Health Club. Then we meet the local jerks. Their name are Bozo and Slug, and they really fucking hate Melvin. And we see them start to fuck with him super hard, and Melvin's just like, Bozo and Slug, they are just insane. Everything they do is just ramped up to 1,000. Their facial expressions, their anger, they're nuts. All they care about is working out and having sex with bimbos. And we also find out that they're serial killers. Their killings are performed with hit and runs. A serial killer that kills people with his car, it's an interesting concept. This was years before Death Proof, too. Later on in the day, we see Slug banging his chick in the locker room after hours, and Melvin walks in on him and he starts perving out, and they turn around, they're like, "Get the fuck out of here, you weirdo!" Then we watch them later as they go on one of their car killings. They have a whole point system for like who they hit with their car and which one's worth the most. Then we see a kid get on his bike at night. Like, what kind of a mother is this? The jerks see the kid on the bike and they whip the car around and just obliterate this poor dude. He's dragging himself around bloody on the pavement, and so they back up over his head. For how campy this movie is, it is also extremely violent and full of gore. This scene in particular is one of the darkest, and the movie just started, so strap in. Then they get out of the car and they start taking pictures of his splattered head with Polaroids. They're acting like a bunch of rednecks that just ran over Bigfoot. This movie is sick. It's sick. Bozo's amped up. He's ready to run some more people over, but Slug's like, nah, we gotta call it a night. I have church in the morning. Pretty good. Back at the health club, they are playing racquetball, and Melvin's watching them, and they just get super pissed again. And then one of the girls, she's like, "I've got a plan." Later at the pool, she comes up to Melvin and apologizes to him, and she's like, "Why don't you come meet me in the locker room later?" And I think he's about to bust in his pants. He's so excited by this prospect. Then we see the bullies. They're sharing a cig as they're doing sit-ups, and I love that. I'm pro smoking, especially when you're working out. It reminds me of that picture of that Chinese marathon runner blasting a cig. That guy rocks. Cigarettes are healthy. Don't let the lying media tell you any different. We see a radioactive waste truck drive through town. There's a bunch of barrels in the back of it, and they're filled with this like green sludge, and it's spilling all over the place. Like, nothing's secure. There's no lids on any of these barrels. This shit is just going everywhere. We see the truck stop in front of the health club. Melvin meets Julie, and she tells him like, "Hey, let's go over to the pool and bang." But before they go, she makes him put on a pink leotard and a tutu. She turns out the lights, and when they cut them back on, everyone is in there, and Melvin is smooching on a sheep. He's absolutely humiliated stupid, but I don't really understand. That sheep was kind of cute. He runs away from the mob and then jumps out of a window and lands headfirst into a barrel of toxic waste. He's writhing around on the sidewalk while his skin's burning and it's melting off, and everybody just crowds around him and points and laughs. I know that this is the 80s and bullying is very much in, but my God, someone help this poor guy. A cop comes up and tries to help him, but when he touches him, his hands catch on fire. Melvin gets up, he runs down the street. He's completely on fire now, and the whole town is just watching this happen. Somehow he makes it home, he locks himself in the bathroom, and he is super fucked up. There's just green goop coming everywhere, his skin's bubbling up, his hair's falling out, his head starts bulging. His mom starts knocking on the door. Melvin, are you okay? Melvin, do you need some lotion? He finally transforms, and now he's like kind of taller and more jacked. I love this whole scene. All the effects in this are really great. The kind of smoking like fog all over the place. His skin like inflating. It's all so gross, and it's not good. Like the effects don't look realistic, but they also don't have to. It's just fun how gross this looks. Later that night, we see a group of thugs loitering around. A cop shows up and they decide perfect target, so they attack him. One's named Cigar Face. He shows up multiple times throughout this, and he takes a cigar, he puts it out on the cop's forehead, and they just beat the absolute shit out of him. They go to shoot his dick off. When Melvin shows up, he beats the snot out of all of them. He's boxing Cigar Face like a speed bag. He elbows one guy's nose off, and he pokes another one's eyes out. He throws Cigar Face in a trash can, he punches his dick a bunch, then he smashes the other two's heads together and they splatter. Then he uses his mop, because remember, Melvin was a janitor. He takes the mop and he puts it on all their faces to clean up the mess. Cigar Face is the only one who made it out of this alive. He runs off, and then Melvin walks over to the cop and he's like, "I'm sorry, man, I don't know what the hell came over me." This fight was great. Just so much fun. Tons of gags, one-liners, blood and guts, everything you want. And Melvin is the talk of the town now. There's news that there's a monster going around town and he's killing bad people. This is when we meet the mayor. He is this big old porker with a mustache. He's got an iconic look. He's concerned because he is corrupt as fuck, and those guys were some of his top earners. I guess this is like the Tony Soprano of Tromaville.
Jesus Christ! Those guys are the top earners. Cigar Face and the Bush. They brought in more money than anybody. I want this monster dead. I want this monster fucking dead.
Melvin returns to the health club. We see one of the bully babes. She's going into the sauna by herself. We think that it's Melvin sneaking up on her, but it's actually Slug. Melvin returns home and his mom totally freaks out, and this bums him out. It bums me out too. I mean, what kind of a mother would turn her beautiful boy away like this? So he goes down to the toxic dump, and that's where he makes his new home. And it's really sad. I feel bad for the mutated janitor. The mayor actually wants to turn the toxic dump into lakefront property. Him and his cronies are like, "Oh, hell yeah, that's a great idea." This is the American way, right? You pollute the ground for short-term profit, then you turn around and build some luxury apartments on top of that. And the pool gives everybody skin rashes. Meanwhile, everyone is partying at the Mexican place. That's what it's actually called. I loved that. Such a stupid throwaway detail, but I think it's really funny. Inside, some painted up criminals, they come in and they start holding the place up. One has a shotgun and he starts aiming it at a fucking baby, and then he shoots a guy in the chest who dies a bloody mess. Then they start messing with this blind girl and they shoot her dog. No! Thank God Melvin shows up. He rips one of the guy's arms clean off his body and beats him with it. The other two are pretty good at karate. One has some nunchucks. He takes a samurai sword off the wall. Melvin throws him into the kitchen, and then he grabs the other one and he makes a milkshake in his mouth, which is pretty great until he turns like the mixer on inside of his mouth. It's not so great anymore. The other karate kid, he takes him and he locks him into the fryer and dunks his hands into the oil. Then he takes one arm and he tosses him into the big oven. And to finish it all off, he always cleans up his mess. The most important thing when you're working this hard is to keep a clean workspace. With the thugs taken out, he goes back to the lobby to help the blind girl out, and she's like, "Hey, maybe you can help me home since my dog just got brutally murdered." The cops show up later at the Mexican place and they're like, "What the fuck happened here?" And the workers saw all of this happen. They're completely losing their minds. Back at her place, she asks if she can touch his face, and he's like, "No! I've got a rash. Then she reads his palm, and then she grabs his dick. Things are going pretty good. Now we're at this weird press conference. This kooky-ass doctor, he comes out and he's like, I think that the monster is biologically wired to kill and fight evil people. Only a German scientist would know something like that. Back at the health club, we see some dudes buying doobies off of this sleazeball drug dealer. We also see the bully girls are checking out the Polaroids of that kid's head that they splattered on the pavement and just really admiring them. The guy who was selling drugs, he apparently works for the mayor. He takes a big old bump and hits the leg machine. Now we switch to Melvin's POV. He is inside the gym and everybody is freaking out. He goes up to the drug dealer and he puts his head under the stack of weights and drops that sumbitch right on his skull, splits him in half. Jesus Christ! Back in the sauna, that mean old bitch, she's in there and she's jerking off to the photos of that dead kid. When in comes Melvin. She thinks it's her man again, because he tricked her earlier with this, but surprise, bitch, it's Melvin. And that's his face. This is the first time we've seen his face. He grabs her and sits her bare ass on the sauna stones. I don't know if this kills her or not. I don't think we ever see her after this again, so I'm assuming. Dying by burning your ass. Hell of a way to go. He's outside taking a piss. This thick green sludge is just coming out of him. I love this. When a pimp pulls up and he offers him, I'm not going to say this because I'll probably get banned on YouTube, but let's just say it's not good. And then him and some of his thugs come out and he just tosses them all around. One guy pisses his pants, but he helps the girl out. He saves her. It's at this point that Melvin has become sick of hiding from the public. He's not made himself known. It's more of just this rumor in town. He's over it. It's time to be a public hero. Next, we see a bunch of different scenes of him being a good Samaritan and doing good and just getting himself out there. We see two boys sitting in the middle of the road. This toxic waste problem this town has, it is affecting them. They all make insane decisions. We see Bozo and Slug try to run them over and he saves them before they can get there. He helps an old lady cross the street. He helps another woman open a jar. They're making t-shirts for him now, and these are sick as fuck. I really want one of these shirts. He's got everybody talking, and the mayor is worried. They decide, all right, we're gonna kill this bastard. So one night, Cigar Face and some other goons surround him with guns. When they all go to shoot, he jumps into the air and they just shoot each other. Classic bit. Now we see a montage of him and Sarah going on dates. He lets her touch his face and she's like, oh my god, you're so beautiful and you're so muscular and oh my god. And then they make sweet radioactive love. We see her making him this pile of eggs. She breaks the eggs and dumps the shell in too, and this made me laugh really hard. For all of the other trashy over-the-top stuff the movie does, it doesn't lean too heavy into the blind jokes, but this is one, and I thought this was really funny. Then he decides, all right, you're coming to live with me in the toxic waste dump. It's all very heartwarming. I'm really happy for them. They can live in the smelly dump and bump uglies, and maybe they'll have a couple three-eyed kids. Back at the health club, Melvin grabs one of the other bitches and he chokes her out, but then this other girl comes in screaming. He kind of freaks out, and the girl runs off. She heads to the basement where he chases her. He gets her cornered into a room and pulls out some scissors. I don't know what happened after this. I assume he stabbed her in the head with them. But now we transition over to the bullies, and they are pissed off because she has the car and she is late and he needs to run someone over right now. They see an old lady getting into her car and figure, well, we'll just take hers. They go over, beat her to death with her own cane, and steal her car. As they're driving, Melvin comes into the road. He hops on the roof. They're driving around trying to throw him off. He throws Slug out of the car and hops in and grabs Bozo. And they are causing all kinds of property damage. Cars are crashing. Cars are exploding. People are falling off of buildings. They head straight towards a playground full of kids when Melvin removes the steering wheel and they careen off of the side of a cliff and explode. Bozo's burned to a crisp. Melvin is unharmed. That's one of the benefits of being mutated by toxic waste. Now we're at the cleaners, and there's this woman, and she gives the owner a pair of her son's jizz-covered jeans to get cleaned up. Melvin comes in, and he stuffs her into a washing machine and kills her. Who is this lady? Why did he do this? And the papers want to know that too. People are suspecting that maybe he's not so good after all. He killed an innocent woman. Back at the dump, Melvin comes home and he's like, everything's wrong. I'm out of control. I'm supposed to be the monster hero, but I'm on a rampage. I'm killing people left and right. So they decide, let's move out to this isolated farm so that I can't hurt anybody anymore. The mayor is stoked, like this is great news. But the cop tells him, that lady, not so innocent. She was actually the leader of a white slavery ring. The mayor's like, all right, that's it. We're killing the son of a bitch. The problem with this is, half the town likes Melvin. A lot of the cops are kind of like, I don't know, especially the one that he saved at the beginning of the movie. The cops start scouring the woods. They find the tent by the farm. So the mayor calls the governor and he's like, oh yeah, sure, send in the National Guard. We would love that. Only bad news is the governor wants him alive, not dead. The military rolls in with their tanks and their jeeps, and the townsfolk are not really liking this. They decide, we're gonna go help Melvin. Melvin and Sarah are asleep in the tent with half of the town and the army outside with guns aimed right at them and 2 tanks. We see the good cop and the fast food kid and then his mom. They're all like, please don't kill him. He's a good guy. Melvin comes out and the mayor's like, kill that son of a bitch. And everybody's like, I can't. So he's like, fuck it, I'll do it. He starts shooting. None of the bullets seem to have any effect on Melvin. So then the mayor loses his mind. He tries to cut a deal with him. And Melvin's like, no, and punches him in his fat stomach and rips out his guts. He goes to help Sarah and the crowd goes wild. The end. Fantastic. Trashy, satirical, funny, gross, violent. This movie has got it all. It is so over the top in every single way. Sex, violence, acting, everything is just ramped up to 11. It's campy as all get out, but it's also self-aware. And it does have an actual message and something to say about all kinds of stuff like corruption, fascism, pollution, capitalism, desensitization of violence, etc. I think it's all done really well because all of those things are treated as jokes and not like trying to shove something down your throat. It's just there. Hey, here it is. Here's some one-liner about this thing, or watch how these characters behave and just move on. I think that the comedy in it is hilarious. This movie's what, 40 years old? It's crazy. The comedy and the themes are still more relevant, honestly. There's even like smaller like throwaway lines or things in the background like signs or whatever that can also be very funny or just on the nose, and like it all just works really well. All of these things just come together to make this movie so charming. I think that that's like a great way to describe it. A lot of low budget movies, they end up looking low budget, and that's why they're not very popular. They don't work out very well. And this one does kind of the opposite, where it's totally leaning into it. Even the effects in this aren't great, but it's done with such a DIY style and just a very like, we're trying where we can, but when we can't, well, this is what we do. And it just works out that way. Like, it knows what it's doing. The movie is aware that it is stupid, but it's not looking at the camera and winking every time that it does something like a lot of modern movies do now. They're just having fun with it. Also, for this being such a low budget movie, it is amazingly competent. Like, the editing is so tight on this. There's maybe like one time throughout the whole movie where I was like, this might be going on. The car scene like felt like maybe it went just a little bit too long. Everything else so tight. The movie moves through everything so quick. It's great. It does not overstay its welcome anywhere. If you can't tell, I'm a fan of this movie. If you're a fan of, I don't know, fun with a little bit of super crazy, ramped up, over the top violence, I would definitely check this out. I will warn you though, there's some things in this video that I didn't cover. I didn't put them in here because this movie really doesn't pull punches in many ways. It goes very far with certain things. So just know that there's some shit in this that I did not put in here. But this is an absolute B-movie classic. Definitely check it out. But what do you think? Do you love the Toxic Avenger? Let me know your thoughts down below. I intend to watch all the sequels. I've seen none of them. Again, if you have Troma recommendations, sound off in the comments down below. Let me know. Be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel for more, and as always, thank you for watching. Bye.